applause. Oh my gosh. You guys are making me blush. Hey guys, my name is Amber Gibson, and today is the day. Today is the very much anticipated video. Anticipated by no one, but anticipated by me. The video essay of breaking down Shawn and Angela in the Boy Meets World universe. And I know what you guys are gonna say. Angela and Shawn are technically not together after the Girl Meets World stuff. We're not going to talk about Girl Meets World. I kind of pushed that to the side. Not saying that I don't like Girl Meets World, but I don't like how they butchered Shawn and Angela's relationship, considering the fact of how much they built it up in Boy Meets World, and also considering the stuff that happened off camera on set and everything. We'll definitely get into that. But I just want to focus this video specifically talking about them getting together, their relationship, and how they're basically the best TV couple to ever exist in the world of TV shows, like in the 90s and 2000s. I'm sorry guys, nobody was doing it like Shawn and Angela. Better than Topanga and Corey, because I'm sorry, at least Shawn didn't cheat on Angela. So before we get started, I do want to say yes, I feel so much better than I did earlier this week. I did a video diary earlier this week and it was bad. I definitely had a fever that night, but when I woke up the next morning I felt better, and then I took a COVID test and the COVID test came back negative. Thank God. I knew it wasn't COVID. Pretty sure it was strep throat, and I've been taking Tylenol like it's candy every 2 hours, because if I don't take Tylenol then my throat will hurt. And like this morning was so bad, but right now throat's feeling good, ears are clogged, I have a little bit of a cough, and like the mucus, I can feel the mucus dripping in the back of my throat and stuff like that. But before we get started, make sure you like this video. I want to make sure that you guys have your drink of choice. We always have our drink of choice whenever we're doing this video. Last time I think I had coffee. This time I have water because I'm not sick, but like I'm feeling a little bad, so I'm trying to drink a lot of water. I had coffee already today. But everyone, get their waters, get their drinks, their snacks. Oh, you want a snack in the back? I got you. For the person in the back that wanted a little snack, I have some Oreos. Yeah, let me tell y'all, sorry I'm going off tangent again, but my throat hurt so bad. The other day that I had to buy ice cream, and ice cream and applesauce was the only thing that my throat could handle. I did lose a little bit of weight though. That's bad thinking, but have my notes. And basically, like I said, I'm going to talk about their relationship when they're together, throw in a little bit of edits and cute moments that I found on TikTok, and then we'll talk about everything coming to an end. Because also what contributes to Shawn and Angela's relationship, what made Shawn and Angela's relationship so wonderful, was that it was an interracial relationship, but not just any interracial relationship. It was a dark-skinned black woman with a white man. And of course, like, they had to butcher it with them breaking up in Girl Meets World and breaking up in Boy Meets World too. It's this whole thing within TV and media. Whenever couples that are not the norm couples, they always have to break up in some way. If the couple isn't white, then they're gonna succeed. Look at Nathan and Haley. That's the reason they succeeded to the end. Yes, there was cheating and crazy babysitters and all that stuff, but still, they won in the end. So to begin,
he needs some milk.
Angela doesn't even come up into Boy Meets World until season 5. So if you have not watched Boy Meets World and you just see the edits of Shawn and Angela and you just want to watch that whole their whole relationship, start at season 5, episode 7. So in season 5, episode 7, it's basically about Shawn has already dated Angela for 2 weeks, and Shawn is this player, the hottest guy in school, you know how they do. And he has this 2-week rule where he dates a girl for 2 weeks and then he breaks up with them. Weirdo, for real. Angela's cool with it because Angela doesn't really care. And Angela's just like, okay, yeah, we could break up. And they break up. And then all of a sudden, Shawn finds this purse on a table or a couch or something. But then the purse, there's things that he likes about this girl. And he literally says, I'd give her 2 weeks. And he doesn't know whose purse this is. So it becomes like this kind of Cinderella story thing. And, you know, they search for the person who has the purse, and he calls them. or he puts out like a notice like, hey, I have your purse, like let's meet up. And he thinks that whenever he gives his purse to this person, then they're going to be dating, and then that's it. And so this girl comes, takes the purse, but then she has a boyfriend, and Shawn is mad. And so Shawn is like, okay, like I'm done with love, I'm done with dating, I can't believe I was considering a long-term relationship. And then come to find out, the purse was the girl's, but the stuff inside the purse was Angela's, and she borrowed the girl's purse, and that's how it started. And so they find out that the stuff inside the purse is Angela's, and Shawn is just like awestruck, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's Angela's stuff. So Angela
Giggling.
We move on to season 5, episode 8, and they finally actually go on a date. And with that date, Shawn gets all these tips from Corey, because Corey and Topanga have been together for, I think, 3 seasons by now. And by the way, season 5 is the season that Corey cheats on Topanga. But so they have their anniversary dinner. So Corey is giving Shawn all these pointers on what to do on this date. But Shawn is not Corey. You kind of realize that. And Shawn and Angela are not Corey and Topanga. And that's what makes them so much better. They go on this date, and then they both confess that they're really scared to actually start dating each other, because both of them have only dated people for 2 weeks, and they've never actually committed and sat down and dated somebody for long-term reasons. And then they kiss.
I want what they have.
After season 5, episode 8, you get cute little Shawn and Angela moments, and finally Angela is becoming a part of the main cast. And this is such a great thing for little black girls and black women across America, because we have a black main character dating one of the hottest guys in school. Like, he chose her, and we get the cute edits, and we get all of this amazing stuff, and we get the cute hairstyles that the actress wears. And by the way, let's talk about it a little bit, because we are going to get into it later. But the actress that plays Angela, she has gone on record and said that she had to do her own hair for the episodes, because there was not a hairstylist for her, even though she was considered like a main character within the TV show. And that is not something that just happens back then. This still happens now. If you watch the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the black main character in that show that had the really pretty blonde hair finger wave, she's also in like the newest season of You. She went on record saying that she was the one doing her hair. And we have to really change that rhetoric in Hollywood, where there's no one on set to do black girls' hair, because I will say, when I was an extra on the TV show, I remember the hair and makeup people going around and doing everybody's hair except mine. Like, they did this girl, they got her hair into a ponytail, they did someone's braids, and they just looked at me and then they walked away, and that was it. The only time ever on that set there was a black like hairstylist, he was there to help one of the principal actors, but I was one of the only black extras on set. So he came up to me and he was like, hey, I'm gonna touch your hair and I'm gonna fluff it out, because my hair was flat. And he fluffed it out. He had put oil in his hands, and he did that, and I was so happy. And that was one of the moments that made me really happy. So think about it. Did 5 episodes. But yeah, that's something to think about with black women and the media. And that's why Shawn and Angela's relationship is also so influential in like the black community and just TV in general, because we were not seeing interracial couples like that at the forefront. And Boy Meets World was like the #1 TV show in America at that time. We get to season 5, episode 15. I personally think this episode was so stupid and like so But season 5, episode 15, that is the first Valentine's Day between Shawn and Angela, and Shawn is actually so excited because he's never had a Valentine's Day where he actually cared about the person that he was dating. And they plan a dinner and all this stuff, but then Shawn gets kidnapped by like 5 of his bitter white exes, and they're hurting Angela more than they're hurting Shawn in this situation, because this whole episode Angela thinks like, oh, Shawn is ignoring me, like I knew he wasn't ready for a relationship. But then they find Shawn, and then they have this whole thing where they put Shawn on trial, and they're just like, you broke my heart. All these 3 blonde white women, Shawn has a track record, and all these 3 blonde white women like going against Shawn, saying that they're helping Angela because Shawn is a bad person. But if you could tell, Shawn is becoming a better person because he is with Angela. But within that episode, he also is like, oh, yeah, well, they're right, Angela, I don't want to hurt you. Like, I like you so much that I don't want to hurt you, so I don't know if we should date. But they don't really break up. They're still together. Those bitter white girls were just bitter because he leveled up. I'm sorry. And then, after season 5, episode 15, we get the downfall of Corey and Topanga, which, let me tell you, the only reason I'm talking about them is because it contributes to Shawn and Angela's relationship. And I will say, the ski episode where they're sitting on the couch and they're playing that little game and they're just talking, it's so cute. So Corey and Topanga break up because Corey's a cheater, duh. Within that, Corey ends up, I don't have the episode written down, but Corey ends up getting drunk and going to a party because he's like, oh, I need to get over Topanga. And so because Corey drinks, Shawn drinks too. And alcoholism is within his family. So it's easy for Shawn to get addicted to alcohol. So only Corey drank once, but then Shawn kept on drinking. And we get that episode where he pushes Angela. And she's like, I don't like you when you drink. And it's like very much, it's not even pick me, but it's very much 2000s, 90s TV show writing, but it's actually very real. That's one of my favorite episodes where they kind of focus on Shawn and how within the situation, I think Shawn is a leader and Corey is very much a follower, but this is one of the episodes where they were blaming Shawn and saying, oh, Shawn, you told Corey to drink and all this stuff, but it was really Corey's fault. And so then he stops drinking, him and Angela make up, but Corey and Topanga are still broken up, and with that, Shawn is worried about him and Angela's relationship because Shawn, in his mind, has idolized Corey and Topanga and put them on a pedestal, and he has in his mind that he wants a relationship like that. And when he's with Angela, and Angela kind of puts him in his place.
I went out with another girl tonight. That wouldn't mean that I don't love you, and we wouldn't be broken up tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, well, you go out with another girl tonight, and you'll be plenty broken tomorrow because I will break you.
And then, guys, we get to season 6, episode 4, the worst episode ever. Well, not the worst episode, but the worst reasoning for them. It's the breakup. Yes, Shawn and Angela break up, season 6, episode 4. And you want to know why? Well, honestly, I kind of get it, but then also it's kind of stupid. So they're in college now, and Shawn wants to have the college experience. So he tells Angela, hey, I'm going to break up with you because I feel like we're in college now and we might want to see other people. And Angela, like the good woman she is, she's just like, okay, fine. Like, she's not going to chase after him. If he wants to break up, they should break up. And I agree with her because I would have done the same thing. Because if I had a boyfriend and we went into college and he's like, hey, I want to break up, and I had a boyfriend and we went to college and he was like, hey, I want to break up and see other people. I'm not going to stop you. You want to go out and you want to go have fun, lay around, be a man, S-L-U-T, go ahead and do it because I'm not going to stop you. And that's essentially what Angela did. Angela's like, okay, Shawn, you want to date other people? Fine, go for it. Also, I wrote in my notes, she doesn't need to be tied down by a man who can't make up his mind, period. And he really can't make up his mind because after they break up, he like goes out with like 2 other people. But then after he goes out with those 2 other people, he's like, oh, I should have stayed with Angela. But before that, we find out kind of within this, Corey has this moment where he realizes that him and Angela aren't actually friends and that Angela and Topanga are friends and Shawn and Topanga are friends, but Corey and Angela themselves together have never hung out and have never really been considered friends. And Corey really wants to patch that up because he believes he is Angela's friend. Angela is Corey's friend, but Corey is not Angela's friend. That's basically, I don't know if that made sense. That made sense to me what I just said, but you get what I'm saying. While they're patching up this relationship, Angela reveals to Corey, only Corey, she doesn't even tell Topanga, that she still likes Shawn, but the only reason she broke up with him was because she doesn't need a man tying her down who can't make up his mind. And so Corey's just like, well, y'all should get together anyway, da-da-da-da. But then Angela, the voice of reason, because Corey is this hopeless romantic who's literally been in a relationship since he was 6 years old. Corey's like, fine, I'll keep it a secret that you still like Shawn. Thank you for the bless you. Also, I put in my notes, because my notes are good, y'all. I said, Angela refuses to act on her feelings for Shawn because she doesn't want to force him to be with her. And she's so real for that. She shouldn't have to force this man to be with her when he broke up with her in the first place. That's basically groveling. He needs to come back and like her more or whatever, win her back. And then, y'all, season 6, episode 9, the slap heard around the world. So, this episode is Shawn and Angela centered, about where we find out that they both still like each other, but they're just separated. And so within their college experience, they find out that Shawn is a very talented writer and poet. And with that, Shawn ends up writing this poem, and someone tells him to read it at like this poetry reading that they're having at their college. And at first Shawn is gonna read it, but then he's like, no, I'm not. And he walks away because he's just like, the feelings, they're just But then Corey, being like the worst best friend ever in TV history next to Zach Morris, takes Shawn's poetry book and goes up on stage and reads it. And it's basically this love poem, his heart poured out and everything. So then Shawn yanks Corey off the stage and they go and talk, and Corey's like, what's wrong? Like, that poem was wonderful. And then Shawn is like, you're reading it, but you don't even understand what it's about. And then Corey's like, okay, what is it about? And Shawn's like, it's about Angela. And then Angela overhears, and she slaps Shawn.
Angela, wait.
He needs some milk.
Now, I don't condone violence, but that was the best thing. He needed the senses slapped into him. Shawn did. Corey should have got a slap too, but hey, whatever. So then later on in that episode, Shawn kind of digs himself into a hole and lies, and he basically tells Angela, oh, I wrote that poem while we were still together, which is a lie. Like, he didn't. We find that out later in later episodes that he wrote that while they were broken up. And so that also further pushes Angela away from Shawn, because it's like, if he would have just been honest in that moment, they would have been back together. But because he wasn't, Angela again is not going to wait on this man to like have feelings for her. And then we get to season 6, episode 11. It's the Christmas episode. Corey invites Shawn to his house for Christmas, but then Topanga also invites Angela to Corey's house for Christmas, because at this time Corey and Topanga are about to get married. It's like Christmas at the in-laws or whatever, and it becomes this like weird thing because they didn't tell each other that they invited their friend to Christmas. And so then, I'm sorry, I don't know why, maybe it's because I just blush or when I'm watching this scene, or like I just get like secondhand embarrassment, because it's like they light the Christmas tree. Shawn and Angela are standing like underneath the mistletoe, and everybody is in the room, and they're just like, oh, Merry Christmas, and then they like make out.
I love Christmas.
In front of everybody. And I think it's just because I don't like PDA, but that scene is cute. But every time I watch it, I just like, I turn my head from the TV because I'm like. But then, of course, Corey and Topanga put too much pressure on the two of them to get back together just because they kissed under the mistletoe, because you could kiss someone and still not feel anything. There was a whole episode on that where Topanga and Shawn kissed, and then Corey and Angela kissed, because they just wanted to prove that a kiss doesn't mean anything. So then Angela go back to the university, and they talk with each other, and they like talk about their feelings. And Angela is the one, finally, Angela is the one to put her foot down in front of Shawn instead of Shawn doing that with Angela. Angela puts her foot down, and she's like, I understand that we kissed, and I understand that we used to date, and I understand that there are strong feelings between us, but you've hurt me to the point where I don't even want to be with you anymore. So then, like, they don't get together. And I think that was so smart of the writers, because if they put them together on that Christmas episode, it would have just been too much and too soon, I believe, because then we get the episode when they do get back together. And that's just so crazy. I put in my notes, after sharing one of the most passionate kisses ever, Angela tells Shawn they should just be friends, period. And so at this point, in between all of this, Shawn and Angela, or just mostly Angela, actually attempts to date other people. Angela goes on dates and all this stuff. And Shawn is boo-hoo, woe is me, I lost the best thing that has ever happened to me, as he should be hurt and everything like that. And so then we get to this episode right before Corey and Topanga are about to get married. There's this little house party that they're having, or a house dinner, and they're playing like truth or dare, or it's like truth or truth and something, and they're being honest with each other. I think the question somebody asked Shawn, it was Corey, because he's messy, a messy person, and he wants Shawn and Angela to get back together. I'm like, if you could be with anybody, no strings attached, who would it be? And Shawn looked at Angela in her face in front of everybody, blushing right now. I'm sorry, I'm blushing. And he literally goes, Angela, like, that's not even a question. So Angela puts him to the test, and they go up into one of the apartment rooms, like in the bedrooms, like, you know. And Angela knew what she was doing, because she knew Shawn could not go through with it. And so they're in the room, and they're kissing and all that stuff, because Shawn was like, me and Angela could be together, no strings attached. And as they're like making out or whatever, Shawn looks her in the face, and he's like, I love you. And Angela pushes him off of her, like, as she should. And she's like, I knew you couldn't go through it, and I knew that you were gonna do this, and like, why are you lying to these people's faces? So then Shawn like breaks down, not like cries, but he's like, this man on his knees. Let me tell you, ladies, I'm gonna give you some advice that my dad gave me, and that is that when you get in a relationship, make sure this man likes you more than you like him. And I know that sounds kind of like bad and stuff, but just trust me, Shawn was obsessed with Angela, and Angela let that man like walk him like a dog. That, I have a TikTok edit of that. Everywhere Angela went, Shawn would follow her like a little puppy dog. Sorry, I had to say that. That's why their relationship is so good. It's something about when the man, not obsessed, but is like so devoted to her and so clearly in love with her, that makes everything like so much better in the relationship. And that literally was it. And of course, Angela, like the boss babe she is, was like, no. That's so embarrassing. Literally, he literally looked her in the face and said, I love you. And she was just like, oh yeah, I know, but we're not getting together. Season 7, episode 3, Angela's dad comes to the university to recruit people to be in the military. And of course, Shawn is like, good. Because Shawn is good at everything he does. He just needs that motivation and somebody to tell him that he's good at it. Because he has like all this self-deprecating issues. Like, this boy has trauma, which is understandable. Angela's dad finds out like their history and all that stuff, and like that they've broken up. And part of the reason Angela did not get back with Shawn was because of this unresolved feeling that she had with her mother leaving her and her dad. That's why Angela didn't want to be with Shawn, because Shawn's mother left him and like his dad, you know, died. Angela does not want to hurt Shawn the way that his family has hurt her and her mother has hurt her. But then we get this whole, when I was younger and I watched this scene, I thought it was so like embarrassing that her dad is like holding her by her wrist, and it's just like, you need to tell this man that you love him and da da da. I used to think that scene was so embarrassing, but like when I got older and I watched it, I realized like, okay, no, I understand. Her dad is basically helping her like be in love, like not to be afraid of love and to be with Shawn. And they get back together.
If I was only gonna be alive for 1 minute, I'd spend it looking in your eyes.
And if you were only gonna be alive for 1 minute, I'd tell you to stop looking and start kissing.
Yeah. Prove that you love me.
That's what I'm saying. You get an episode like season 7, episode 3, and you would think that they would be together forever, but like, we'll get to that. So they're together and they're together after season 3, episode 7, and you get like their cute little moments and like silly moments where they just can't like keep their hands off of each other because, you know, wasted time or whatever. And then we get to season 7, episode 21. Basically, Angela's dad comes back, and within that, Angela's dad offers for Angela to go to Europe with him. And of course, Angela's like, yes, I want to go to Europe with my dad because first of all, it's Europe, do college in Europe. That's a great opportunity. Second, it's also because she hasn't been able to have an opportunity to be with her dad like in her teenage years because her dad was in the military. And Shawn at first is like, I'm going to propose to her. I'm going to tell her not to leave. Because if Shawn told Angela not to leave, she wouldn't leave. But Shawn knew that she needed that. And so essentially every time I watch the episode, I'm looking for it in my mind where they physically and like verbally break up. But instead they're just like, oh, I love you. Like, I'll see you when you get back. Like, I'll wait for you type of deal. The tea about that episode is that, so it's stuff that had to happen. It's things that happened offset that transpired what happened into the TV show. And basically what had happened was that when they were getting close to the end of the episode and like the farewell episode, it was not Ryder Strong, the guy who plays Shawn. It wasn't him. It was 3 characters. It was the actor that played Corey, the actress that played Topanga, and the actor that played Eric that did not feel that Angela should have been on the final episode where they say goodbye to Mr. Feeney because they felt like she wasn't there. It was like this whole thing. There was racism. They dealt with they said racist things to the actress on set. And then luckily the actress that plays Topanga and Eric, they apologized to her. But like the actress that plays Angela, she said, she like went on record on a talk show saying that to this day she can't watch the last episode of Boy Meets World because it brings so much hurt to her in everything that happened. I'm like, that's so unfortunate and so upsetting for the fact that they think that she wasn't notable enough to be in the last episode. And that just tells you how it is for Black actresses in the industry. She was on the posters, she was on many episodes, she was a regular. And the fact that they were just like, no, we don't think you should be on it, was sick. And considering the fact that Eric wasn't even really a part of their little friend group, and he was just, I don't know, that's just facts and opinion for me. And then we get to Girl Meets World, and the relationship is over because apparently Angela got married and she had kids, and then Shawn actually waited and they made it seem like it was her fault in Girl Meets World, so they were still punishing her when they shouldn't have. But in my mind, I don't think Girl Meets World is real. I'm sorry. Girl Meets World, like, they did deal with good topics, but also it's the new Disney that I wasn't really a part of that generation. So all the TV shows in the new Disney generation, I feel like I don't have an opinion on them because they're not catered for me. But yeah. And that is the whole arc. That is Shawn and Angela. The best. I will keep saying the best TV show couple to ever exist in TV show couples. They're the blueprint for friends to lovers. Like, just, thank you guys so much for, if you sat through and watched this whole thing, that means you just love Shawn and Angela as much as I do, or you're willing to actually listen to me talk and listen to my opinion about things. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any facts or things you want me to talk about, leave them in the comments below, I guess. It was a great talk. Thanks for coming to my sleepover. Thanks for coming to my hangout. Anybody want any Oreos to go? No? Alright. Oh, leave some of those Doritos, please. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much, friends. Thank you for watching this, and I will see you in my next video diary. Graduation is like 13 days away. I'm gonna be contemplating that for a little bit. Sorry, I'm gonna send myself into a spiral right now. Thank you again for watching, guys. I'll see you next time when I see you.